Good evening. It's 11 o'clock, and this is Jason Tweed with Nightly Muse. Today at 2:18 p.m. on the East Coast, a national open quote presidential alert close quote came across. And you have to realize that a lot of people were upset. They got this alert. Donald Trump had been talking about it, and it kind of cracked me up because here's the entire picture. First of all, the presidential alert was not a concept that DJT came up with himself. The reality is that this has been something that's been in the works since, that's right, Barack Obama's administration. So that's point number one that made me chuckle. Point number two that made me chuckle is that they informed the president of the presidential alert, who automatically went out and made a BFD on Twitter saying that he will be able to reach everyone. And his tiny penis grew 3 sizes that day. Unfortunately, what he didn't fail to or seem to grasp was that the presidential alert is not to be used by the president to communicate with the people of the United States. It's to be used by the Federal Emergency Management Authority, FEMA, to give people information. Not only is it only to be used for that, but the reason it's called a presidential alert is because a nationwide alert can only get final authorization from the president. FEMA can do regional alerts, and they've already done this. But before a national alert goes out, then they want to essentially be stamped by the President of the United States. So Donald Trump, his entire presidential alert capability is saying, okie dokie. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. Furthermore, the mandate is set so that the presidential alert can only do 2 things. One is prevent facts about the emergency and the type of emergency. And 2 is to give information about what to do if that's even available. This was done specifically because they didn't want information to be misconstrued in the event of a national emergency. So it literally says in the mandate to present facts. I find this particularly hilarious because Donald Trump, to my knowledge, does not have a firm grip of what facts are, let alone having the ability to report on them. How do I know this? Because the Washington Post has documented 5,000 times in his first 500 days in office. And that sheer number blows me away. That means he literally has gotten information wrong or blatantly lied or misconstrued correct information 10 times a day for over a year and a half. That's mind-boggling. So the words presidential alert should not alarm you, because this president nor any other president does not have the ability to choose what information goes into that alert as of this time. Now, my guess is that Donald Trump is going to do his damnedest to change that once he realizes that, once again, he is impotent. However, my hope is that Congress or the Senate will not permit him to do that, because they will simply be mindful of the fact that every tweet he has sent out has been a fiasco. And they certainly aren't going to give him the ability to tweet every human being in the United States. On another side note, my phones on 2 different networks both went off simultaneously. It was like stereo for Samsung, but I thought that was actually pretty impressive. The second piece that I thought was funny is my wife's phone went off not once, not twice, but 3 times, about 5 minutes apart, while she was in a meeting, and hers was the only phone that went off 3 times. And then another friend of mine, who also happens to be named Jason, not the serial killer, just a realtor from Austin, but his phone did not go off when 5 others in his office did. So he was feeling very neglected by the president. The long and short of it is, presidential alerts are not very presidential, and they are important, so you don't want to opt out even if you could, which you can't. But yeah, it's the whole thing, in my view, is funny as hell. We have a few watchers on call, so if you would like to call in, the telephone number is area code 215-253-3737. And yeah, feel free to share your alert experiences with us if you had one. Other than beep, it went off at 2:18. But yeah, let me know what you think of the presidential alert. The phone lines are open. Again, that's 215-253-3737. And yeah, feel free to give us a call. Pop some messages into the chat. I see that my chat actually is functioning rather strange tonight. It's not showing on my interface, so I'm looking at the YouTube chat and see Mr. Michael Adams has joined us. Welcome back, sir. And Michael says it was very loud. Good observation. It was very loud, actually. I keep my phone turned down to the. It does ring, but it's at the very lowest setting, and both my phones went off, as I said, simultaneously. We're going to wrap up the show for tonight a little bit early. Last minute calls are welcome. Again, that phone number is 215-253-3737. And we're going to take live calls tomorrow night. So please join us, and feel free to call in with your comments. And the topic will be announced shortly on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/nightly muse. Have a great night, everyone. Talk to you tomorrow.